Okay, so some of my friends have asked me to explain this graph on a short video. So here it is. It's called the Jam chart. And Jam chart like that. And on the x-axis it has the value you create for yourself. It's not the exact thing, but it's kind of tells you what it is. And the value you create for the world on the y-axis. And then there's this common understanding in this world that there is some kind of link between the more value you generate for the world, the more kind of salary you can make for yourself. But of course it's not entirely true. And then you should think of these axes as somewhat logarithmic. Anyway, so let's try to plot different people here. Somebody like Bill Gates, for example, would be out here. He's definitely very wealthy, and he also generates a lot of value for the world with all his programs to eradicate disease and so forth. And you could argue that also someone like the Google founders, Larry and Sergey, would be up here, and somebody else in the tech industry, maybe Mark Zuckerberg. He makes less money than they do, but he also generates something that is a lot less valuable to the world. So you could put him, I don't know, somewhere here maybe. So that would be Mark. And then in respect to that, you want to put who are the people down here in this corner. And they are people like celebrities, like football stars, music stars, lawyers, bank directors, stockbrokers, people like that. People who spend other people's money without generating any value in return, or very little at least. And then in the opposite corner, no, let me start in the middle, just to get that straightened out. Kind of in the middle here, somewhere along this graph, you would have a group, for example, a group like school teachers. You could argue that they would be like that. Here you see it's not a linear scale, it's logarithmic. But anyway, so you could argue some school teachers create a lot of value to the students they have throughout their life, and some create not so much value. And you can even argue that there's a few school teachers who create negative value for some kids. And also the salary gap between school teachers is not so big. So that's why it's like that. And another group, let's take for example doctors. Doctors make a little bit more money on average than school teachers, so we put them here. And then you would have a few doctors who develop some new medicine that can eradicate disease. So they're very valuable, but they might not get more salary for that sake. And then you have also some doctors that you know, make people more sick or actually kill people. You argue they should go all the way down below the line. And in that way you can have different groups here plotted in different areas. You can have people who are criminal, burglars and otherwise. They are down here. They create negative value for society. And also people who want to make war, whether it be gang wars or real wars, they're definitely also down there. And then let's just plot a few up here in that corner. That would be my heroes. They are up here. So it would be somebody like Nelson Mandela or Mother Teresa, or some scientists like Niels Bohr, Einstein, or Maxwell or Planck. So they would be up there, not making a lot of money throughout their life, but actually benefiting the society in a humongous way. Okay, so that explains a little bit what this graph is all about. Now we get to the exciting thing. So as an infant, you start down here, where you create very little value and you don't make anything for yourself, so forth. And then throughout your life, you move in some pattern throughout this, and then as an old, you probably end up here, down here as well. So many people would take some kind of part. So let's just draw one of them. So it could be something like this. Maybe not all the way out there. Maybe most people would only go here, but yeah, whatever. So that proves my point that what is important about this chart for you is to think about where are you right now. Maybe you are here. So that's you. And the important thing is, where do you want to go the next 5 years? What direction do you want to move your mark the next 5 years? For myself, I've decided that I want to move up here. I want to move straight up. I don't need to make any more salary. but I definitely want to have a more positive impact on the world around me, and I want to make sure that I'm way above this average line. So that's the point of what I want to do the next couple years. Then we should also talk a little bit about the negative acts. I already talked about. So people down here are basically people who does bad things to the world, and all over here is a whole other story. But let's talk about these down here. So basically this area down here is what the politicians are dealing with. That's all the illegal stuff, right? So that's what all the laws are about. They're trying to regulate all this stuff that are bad for the world. And the space up here is regulated by social norms and unwritten rules. So I think that's what makes it so exciting to me, that there is basically no rules that governs us up here. But there is a lot of people in the world who needs governance. They really need that in their lives, and that's the reason why the media is like 80% of what's going on in the media is all about this stuff down here, which is to me the boring stuff, and only 20% of the stories in media is about this stuff up here. And that's because a lot of people want to have direction in their life. They want to have somebody tell them what to do, but the laws are only handling this down here. Anyway, so I hope that explained the Jam chart to you. Yeah, think about where you want to go the next 5 years.